Well, it was a good practice run.
Now we're live. 30 minutes after, for 30 minutes, guys, we've been talking to ourselves. Well, has. Not realizing we're not live. Not realizing. I've been talking to you in the chat as well, guys. To all of you. I said hi to all of you in the chat. But we weren't live. Please tell us we're live now, please.
My phone still says waiting through YouTube.
No, I know. Now I know we're live, I think.
Okay, maybe there's just a delay. I'm not sure.
I think there is a delay.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see the live stream. Thank
Okay,
you,
Bianca says
Bianca.
we're live. Great.
This is incredible. I don't know what happens. Why? Sometimes it just doesn't work. And I haven't checked. So I have no idea.
Well, we'll just have to get everybody up to speed on this whole homestead, and it gives us a chance to kind of refine our commentary. So, hey, practice makes perfect.
Haz's attitude is amazing, guys. We've been talking to each other. Haz is very nice, but I sure hope you, wish you were there as well, all of you guys. So, Vegan Stoner Lady, hello. Martin Kevin, hi. Pig's Dream, hello. The Real Thing, hi. Friendo, what's up? Now I'm definitely a fool of Friendo. Bianca, hi. Who else is here? Luis, hello. I'm sorry if Luis maybe left already. All of this time, guys, I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed that we weren't live all of this time. I don't know. Somebody please make me feel better. Hello, Luis. I'm sorry. We were thinking we were live, but we weren't actually live. I'm sorry, everybody. So we're gonna start over. Hello, my name is Vegan Postmortem. This is Haz. He's joining me to talk about this homesteading lady.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. But first, let's talk about what homestead is, right? So I have an Instagram page that is called Harmsteader. And this is where I post the inner workings of homesteading and how it affects the animals that they raise for food, basically for exploitation and food. Homesteaders are a range of things. I think the concept is basically a self-sufficient off-grid family that tries to be self-sufficient as possible and raise animals and fruit and veg and stuff like that. As explained to Haz, it's too bad that you guys weren't listening. To become a homesteader these days, you have to have a lot of money, because you need to buy the land, you need to build everything on the land, you need to buy the animals, you need to pay for feed for the animals. And you basically, this entire time, you have to work on your actual job. So to me, it seems like a stupid idea. And that's completely, we're not even talking about the fact that these animals are exploited and slaughtered by these usually highly incompetent people who learn how to kill animals on YouTube. I wish I could do something about that. I wish I could cancel every homesteader who teaches how to kill animals on YouTube. Well, I don't know. Is Elwood being compatible with homesteading? Yes. Yes. I think Elwood is a homesteader. Learn by doing. Yeah, holy shit. Learn killing animals by doing. All right, so let's begin, Sean. Oh, Has, can you say a few things? I know you've been saying things for 30 minutes, but can you say a few things now?
Yeah, I mean, I had never heard of this idea of homesteading before, and I'm not completely clear on what differentiates it when the homesteader is vegan from just gardening. I think from what VPM was explaining, I think it has to do maybe with the goal of being self-sufficient, and maybe just the size and scale of it. Like I think maybe once your garden reaches a certain size, or you try to diversify your selection of vegetables, etc., such that you can maybe self-sustain. Maybe then it becomes a homestead. Not sure. I'm also learning here, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's an eye-opening kind of foray for me as well.
All right, Hez, let's do it again. Let's watch
Yeah,
this
let's do
video.
it.
Here they come.
Hold on. Something I forgot to say that I said the first time. For the most sensitive folk in the chat, this video doesn't contain blatant exploitation or killing, right? There is no, like, if a non-vegan were to wander into this chat, they probably wouldn't even understand what the fuck are we talking about, right? When we talk about to me, it's a blatant exploitation. But to people who are not used to thinking in the concepts of animals actually being sentient beings, it's gonna be a non-issue. So we're here to talk about the nuances, the smaller stuff, not the blatant stuff, right?
Yep.
And also no trigger warning not needed. So, yeah.
This is gonna be a workout.
He's gonna lay down, get comfy. Okay. Are we doing this again, ducks?
Yeah. Coming out to get.
So every homesteader, I think, who has a YouTube channel basically exploits cute animals for their cuteness, right? Because if you go to not this channel is kind of tiny, but the bigger channels, if you go to their comments, is, oh, the animals are so fucking cute, right? It simply became these days just part of their revenue, part of the exploitation of animals.
Yeah, Mr. Chevy, he is going home today.
Hey, big man. You ready to go home? You gonna say goodbye to these ladies?
So it always kind of irks me when homesteaders call the animals big man and ladies. And I think it irks me because homesteaders do exploit the sexual reproduction, I guess, of animals. So, calling them, it's kind of, I don't know, my feelings get hurt.
Time to go back to your man club. Yeah. You ready to go? Come on.
They've been wanting to get out of this gate the whole time he's been here, so now is his chance.
So this animal has been on this farm for 2 months, and Chevy spent the entire 2 months in a shed. What do you say about that, Haz?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't seem like it seems like, just from what she was saying, he's been wanting to get out that whole time. I think that's pretty self-evident. Looked like those other ones wanted to get out of there too.
Yeah. I'm told to bring my sound up. How about now, friendo? Is that okay? Is that better?
I do hear you a little bit more loudly.
Yeah. Brought it up a little bit. Better. Good. Wouldn't want to fuck up again.
Say goodbye, Chevy. Say goodbye to those ladies. They're so sad to see you go.
He's not. He's ready to go on. Next place.
For all
Greener
he knows,
pastures,
he's
right?
just going for a walk.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where he's going.
Well, I guess it depends. If Chevy is a professional buck, I guess he is being hired to impregnate other goats, if he looks a little older, on the older side, so I think he knows. I think he knows the routine already. I don't know.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, if he's been there for 2 months, then he might just think that's his new home. But then again, if he's just been locked up the whole time and this is the first time he's been let out, then
Yeah.
he could know that something is changing now for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Martin says homesteaders treat the animals with love and then murder them. Yeah. I don't even think this is love. I think it becomes kind of. I think this is fake love in this case. And I did tell Haz at the live stream that we did together. By the way, go subscribe to Haz. Subscribe to this channel as well.
Smash all the buttons.
Yeah, push all the buttons, hit all the buttons. Haz and I had a conversation about a week ago on his channel where I told him I think there is some kind of a twisted love there, from people who raise animals for food. I think it is some kind of a weird, twisted love. I don't know. In this case, it feels to me a bit disingenuous. It feels to me like it's being played up for the camera in this case.
Has done what he came here to do, I believe. I didn't notice anybody going into heat. Yes, you can step over a hose. It won't hurt you. I haven't noticed anybody coming back into heat. He doesn't act like anybody's coming into heat. He does not want to step over this hose. Giant green snake.
I mean, shocker, an animal doesn't want to do something. Holy shit. How dare they? Haz, I'm very hot. I need to bring something. Talk about your channel for a second, okay?
Okay. Yeah, my channel, I do outreach and activism of different forms. I lately have started making reaction videos, started doing live outreach recently, and I've been on a project of revamping my thumbnails. George Martin from Carnism Debunked had messaged me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, I have a constructive tip for you. Like, maybe you should make some better thumbnails," basically. So I've been doing that. I think it was amazing advice. Yeah, it's been, I haven't really seen the results from it yet in terms of views and things like that, but it's been a eye-opening process of comparing my old thumbnails to my new ones. And yeah, don't neglect your thumbnail quality.
Nah. Don't neglect your thumbnail quality. I'm just incredibly hot. My hair is getting very long. I don't know what to do with it. All right, let's listen to this person.
If we were to keep them around, just in case one of them did, we are looking at November kidding dates at this point, which without supplemental heat, it's just too late. So,
So Haz, what do you think? She's gonna do with the kids? Kids are baby goats.
I've been wondering that this whole time. That's what I've been meaning to ask. When we thought we were live, that was kind of the burning question in my mind. Is it like a goat milk thing? Is she selling them for slaughter? I have no clue. Maybe she just, I don't know. Maybe we can assume better, more benevolent intentions. Maybe she has been informed by the local land bureau that the goat population is suffering in numbers, and she's, exploiting them as kind of like a necessary evil or something of some sort. I don't know.
All possibilities, but I think most likely she exploits the ladies for milk. Usually homesteaders don't, very little of them actually have cows for milk, because they have a acreage problem, basically, and because a cow is a dangerous animal, basically just by being really tall, being really big. So they favor goats because goats are small. Goats are easier to exploit. And I think the baby animals are going to be raised for meat.
Wow. I've heard of, the Elwoods, their farmstead. They actually, I believe they use Labradors for milk, which, seems like an overlooked option. A lot of these people could, make dog milk soap and all that stuff.
That's interesting because homesteaders do love their dogs. And they call them, well, love is again a harsh word in this case, because they exploit the dogs. They don't get dogs for companionship. They get them to work, basically.
Or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, probably a little bit of both because yeah.
But
They
it
do.
can still be exploitative, if you just go like, I don't like the terminology like, I want a dog or I want to go get a dog, that whole terminology kind of puts them into that property status, thought mode, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so actually, like, who knows if we don't sit down with those people and ask them leading questions about their preferences? Well, I don't know, we're just guessing, I guess.
Right.
Goats are awesome, Louis. I was talking about that. Goats are fucking amazing, it seems, right? Every time homesteaders are writing about goats, it becomes really apparent that they're creatures with a lot of attitude, a lot of spunk, a lot of personality, which homesteaders fucking hate because goats run around and they destroy everything and they pee in their food and do all kinds of crazy shit. But they seem to be really fun animals that homesteaders don't want. They want docile animals.
Maybe that's where that acronym comes from, greatest of all time.
Yeah, probably. Goats are so cute.
Going home. This guy is so good at walking. Oh my goodness. You could.
Look, guys, animals who are not dogs are trainable. Holy shit. So what's the morally relevant difference between the two animals, the dog and a goat, who are both trainable, right?
Go to a show ring, buddy. You are so good at this. Getting him into this car might be another story.
Oh, I don't like this scene.
I know.
So again, prop you up here ish. Come on, Chubby. Come on.
Clearly he's facing his head away from it.
I don't know if I can pick him up. We did this last time. Go on. No. Go on. No. Oh, I'm gonna smell so bad after this. Go on.
Oh.
There we go.
So that's what I'm talking about, right? A person who would walk in on this conversation who isn't vegan, this wouldn't be a problem for them the way it's not a problem for the homesteader. She doesn't even notice that he's banged his head against the cage several times. She doesn't even care that he doesn't want to go into this cage, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I was saying, when we thought we were live earlier, is that if I were in her position, I probably wouldn't post this part if I wanted to give off the impression that it was super humane and kind. But maybe she's doing so in the interest of full transparency and realizes that there's some imperfect bits of it and kind of just treats homesteading like, it's like a fruit with its bruises, and she's just showing everybody the bruises. I'm not sure. But yeah, obviously, Chevy or whatever his name is, he didn't enjoy that at all. From his perspective, it was something that he's not going to have a fond memory of, getting stuffed into a cage. That much.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out in about a minute that Chevy wasn't having a good time at all on this farm.
Whew. That was fun. Thankfully, there's gonna be a door here so he can't bust out this time.
I'm guessing the last time he was trying to escape.
Yeah, it's like she acknowledges that he doesn't want to be in there.
Yeah. Well,
But says it was fun.
yeah. So she acknowledges that these animals have personalities. They're cute. They don't want to be in those situations. She doesn't give a shit. That's why I think. How can I explain this? I think they just don't see it. I think people just don't see it. I don't know if it makes sense. It makes sense to me because I grew up with animals. I grew up with chicken coop. And I don't know how much I can trust my own introspection. But I remember thinking that I care. But I didn't really actually care. Right? Because I wasn't doing it with them. whatever I was doing with animals, I was doing it at them without considering their well-being at all. And that's how I was raised to not see them. I think this is something that need to be learned to see that the communication of an animal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a profound insight. When I think back to when I was a vegetarian for 2 years prior to going vegan, I thought I cared about animals. I thought it was something that I was doing for the, not for the betterment of animals, but that had a better effect on animals than kind of the average Joe, if you will. But it wasn't until I saw footage of cows, for example, kind of, in a row, chained up and being exploited, and kind of seeing their reactions and kind of seeing their faces and how they looked in those situations being exploited, like kind of how they responded. They were meaningfully terrified, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I saw that, which kind of helped that whole thing click,
Yeah.
that it was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Bianca says they don't even see this as hurting animals. I agree. They don't even see it. That's the point. Yeah.
Haven't been out in a long time, have you, girls? It's been like 2 months.
So she basically locked up all these 4 animals in a barn, in like a small, basically in a barn, right? When she opened the door, it was just they were just locked in a barn, and she's gonna say later that they didn't come out of there for a really long time.
I wonder why. It wouldn't. What would it interrupt if she just let them out? I don't
It's coming
understand
up.
that.
It's and guess what? It's gonna be a selfish reason.
You gonna go eat some grass? Not some grass. Some trees? You gonna be happy? Come on, guys. You usually go run.
Sorry, Bianca says something very important, I think. I don't think we need to learn that at all, meaning to communicate with animals. We just need to unlearn seeing them as commodities. And then it comes from alone. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Running and bounding. So excited when I let you out. This is boring.
This is boring, she says. The slaves are not entertaining her audience on YouTube. How amazing. Sorry, I keep popping off. I'm just really annoyed that for 30 minutes we were talking to ourselves. Not that... It's just really annoyed at myself that this happens. Yeah, no, I'm gonna get over it in a second.
Well, girls, what's it gonna be? Oh, thank you, Daisy.
Yeah, guess what? Goat's poop. Right? And I was thinking about this. I wrote a thread today on Twitter. So these animals are trainable, right? If you took the fucking time, you could train them to poop in one place and not on their food, in their water, or whatever. And that's the problem with not even giving them consideration, not even thinking that they are smart enough to do this, and B, not giving a shit, and C, not taking the time to train these animals for their betterment, right? So you just don't give a shit. The animals are there to supply a product, and that's it.
You gonna come eat some trees? Come here. There's a down maple branch over here. Come on. There she goes. Come on, over here. Look. There's a tree that you can eat. You gonna eat it?
It is interesting that black one was kind of almost wandering back inside into the enclosure.
Yeah. I don't know what the motivations there are, but it does become a bit clear to me that the animals kind of hate her, the homesteader, a little bit. I don't know. I might be projecting. I have to admit this. I do use feelings in this case, in this video. That's okay, I think. I'm sorry if you can hear that very loud. Yeah, there it
This
is.
sounds like ducks or geese or something. Or
Sorry?
no, what is that? What was that you could hear?
Oh, just an ambulance, I think.
Oh, it sounded kind of like when like uh ducks or seagulls or geese or something are kind of like all congregating. Kind of sounded like that a little bit. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not a homesteader. I don't. I live in smack in the middle of a city, city center. In fact, yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I want to change it. Like sometimes I do want to be in nature, and then I just take a vacation for a little bit. But after reading all the shit that homesteaders say about where they moved, I don't want to move there. I wouldn't like. I wouldn't want to be in that place because they move into nature and then they continue to try to bend nature to their will and try to keep nature out, right? All the insects and all the and small animals are trying to eat their small animals, right? The circle of life ends at the edges of homesteading. So I really wouldn't want to be them at all. I don't understand what the appeal is, I guess, anymore. Like, oh, I like looking at nature, I guess, but and being nature sometimes, but living there sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I think there is some appeal as I see it to being in a setting where you can eat locally, like locally wildly growing produce. For example, like I would love to live somewhere like in Vietnam or Thailand, like in that environment where I could just go out and pick like berries and mangoes and things like that, just from like a permaculture forest type setting. I think that would be a beautiful way to live.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of getting fruit that it's like think about how many hands it's been through, not from a hygienic perspective, but almost just more like
Economic.
ecologically speaking. Yeah,
Yeah.
and all the stickers and plastic packaging, and
Yeah, yeah,
then you put it on a conveyor belt at the grocery store that people put their flesh, chicken flesh and whatnot onto. It would be much preferable to just be able to go out and pick berries off a tree, and just hose it down, and then there you go.
yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's just very inefficient in feeding the amount of people
Right.
that we've successfully birthed into this world. So I don't know. I'm like kind of yeah. You have a point, but it can't feed people, so it's
No, yeah.
inefficient. Yeah.
And it's not for everyone. I mean, and it's not even for me long term. I mean, I like the conveniences of living in a city.
Same.
I like being able to go to a bank or the just all the modern conveniences. You have everything that you could need to take care of like modern day business, post office, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's good to have.
Yeah. The real thing doesn't agree with us. He says humans don't belong in concrete jungles. It's making us sick. Well, I don't know what you mean by it's making us sick, but I guess some of the things, yeah, can be proved on. I guess our lungs are not supposed to breathe in so much CO2 as we kind of poison the air, yeah? That can be improved on. Like, there is a middle somewhere, I guess, right? The permaculture stuff can happen in like greenhouses in the middle of a city. If we wanted to, we could make it happen. Just put large greenhouses in the middle of cities, or on rooftops and whatever the fuck, right? And have both worlds. And the city I live in, they're kind of trying, in the long run, get rid of cars. Personal cars. They're kind of trying it out, right? So that already decreases the huge amount of the things that make us sick. And the rest, I don't know, like mentally, maybe it's a bit of a problem. I think like small pieces of nature, controlled nature maybe, like greenhouses, I think it can take care of that. I don't know, but I'm
I
not
think
sure.
there's also hazards beyond just air quality, like when it comes to noise, like
Oh
noise
yeah.
pollution, just being able to close your eyes and just for it to be peaceful and quiet, or light pollution. For example, like in my bedroom, I have blackout curtains to
Mm.
keep light out, but the city is so bright that it's still like I still sleep with like an eye mask over my eyes.
Yeah.
And there's also the electromagnetic frequency pollution, like radio waves and things like that. Like I live close to a
I'm not sure
TV
about
tower.
that stuff. I'm not sure if we have evidence for that stuff, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess to be discerning, there is a difference between radio frequencies and like electromagnetic frequencies. But I know, for example, like I have a mini, very very amateur recording, like music recording setup,
Mhm.
and anytime I even turn on an amp or try to turn on my audio interface, I hear the radio. Like I hear like literally like AM FM radio through my through my speakers, and it bleeds into all my recordings, and I have to go in and filter it out because I don't have a copper enclosed apartment
Yeah,
to keep all that stuff out.
yeah.
But yeah, there's many aspects to it. Or just even like the with the noise pollution thing, it's not just the ambient noise, it's like the constant ambulances, sirens, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of wears on a person after time. But yeah, I tend to agree more with the real thing, in the sense that I think there's a more ideal way to live for our health, even if it's not totally going out into a completely natural setting. Maybe just being in, kind of like you say, kind of maybe a happy medium instead of just a
Yeah.
complete like concrete jungle scenario.
Yeah, we can do both. We can. We can do both. Just somebody needs to start the initiative. I appreciate the person who's the minister of a city right now for trying. I don't know if he's going to succeed. I don't know if he's going to um, get much support because people do love their cars here, despite them being, frankly, if the public transport works well, it's not like America. America, you have to have a car, right? Basically. Otherwise, you can't move anywhere. But here, like, if public transport actually works, you don't really need a car. But people love their cars.
Are
Absolutely.
they trying to do away with all cars, or maybe with gas powered cars?
There is. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. I don't have a license. I don't have a car, so I haven't checked. I think he's trying to make it basically a carless city
Carless.
for the
Wow.
most part, and like electric bikes, electric scooters, all that stuff. I think he would allow that. So it's.
I do want to respond to Aluwali about the EMF thing. I didn't know that. I assume you're talking about Frank Tufano. I didn't realize that he referred to those at all. But from what I've read, even kind of like rigorously peer-reviewed scientific research has shown that EMFs can disrupt cell signaling. Now I don't know if we're absorbing an appreciable amount just being in a city, but I can say that things like electric blankets and things like that, where you're in close proximity to an electromagnetic field, has been shown to be able to cause cells to mutate, or at the very least to disrupt their signaling. So I'm not sure. I mean, I can look more into it too, but
I mean, we don't
um,
have evidence for that, and scientists have been trying for years to find out some kind of a problem with this thing. They can't. It's fine, you know. So I don't know.
well, I don't know. From what I've heard, like even Apple has recommended, like when you're sleeping, to not keep it within 6 feet of your head, especially if it's not on airplane mode. Um, that means magnets would work on our brains.
I mean,
Um,
listen, I think they're taking a precaution. Where I work in a hospital. They're taking a precaution, and they wrote on inside elevators, don't talk on the phone, right, inside an elevator. But it's not based on any science. It's based on fear mongering, basically. But they're trying to cover their asses by saying, well, don't do that. Okay, fine, don't do that, but it doesn't do anything. We can't find it doing anything. Scientists have been trying. They can't find any, you know. any
right.
actual health outcomes on people. There's none, as far as we know.
It's been a while since I've looked into it, so I'll take another gander, but not to
Sure.
take us too off topic here.
Yeah. Let's continue. Doesn't matter. This is not what we're talking about. Yeah. Let's get back to non-human analogy issue. Yeah. Thank you, Bill.
This is not as climactic as I was expecting. Look. Look at that.
Oh, they don't entertain. They're not entertaining enough. The slave animals are not entertaining enough for her.
A tree on the ground. Just for you. How exciting. There you go. Isn't that yummy?
Listen, guys, tangents will ensue. Do you know what channel you're on? We're gonna go on tangents here. More often than not, it will happen. We finally went live, so we're talking. Come on,
Yeah.
don't get upset.
Enjoy. What about you, Adeline? You gonna come eat some?
I didn't pick this up. She actually named them.
I bet maple leaves taste
You can go on
pretty
the other
good.
side.
Sorry?
And maple syrup. I bet maple leaves taste pretty good. I bet there's a way that we could eat them potentially.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're safe to eat, but I would assume so.
yeah,
You can
I
drink
don't
the
know.
syrup.
I bet in a couple of years we're gonna milk it. I bet it's gonna be maple leaf milk or something.
Well, there's already wood milk.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Did you know that?
Yeah. I have a video responding to it, or making
Oh,
a parody of it.
okay.
So yeah, definitely.
This side needs some. And they can't reach you. I don't think she ever quite figured out what to do when she's out of the pen.
That's kind of sad. Did you catch that?
Spell it out, please.
So she said, I don't know if she's really figured out what to do when she's out of the pen.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, she doesn't know what to do with her freedom.
Yeah.
It's what she's, used to.
Yeah.
There you go. Isn't that yummy? Good girl. Meanwhile, I am off to clean the barn because having Chevy here meant a lot of extra, shall we say, waste and a lot of...
Darling, it's shit and piss. Come on. It's shit and piss. Just say, if you raise animals, you create shit and piss.
urine. And this barn is smelling, especially with the heat. There's a lot of ammonia going on here. It really needs cleaned out. So, despite the fact that it's like 90 degrees out, it's overcast, so it doesn't feel that bad. I'm gonna get this done. No, still not gonna run and play.
Just being
There we go.
see, shit and piss. Look at the personality of this black and white puppy. Come on. How do homesteaders of all people don't make that connection? I don't understand.
Here he comes.
Yes, vegan stoner lady, we're getting there. Yes, for 2 months she haven't cleaned out their shit and piss. For 2 months they were in a barn, locked up, shitting and pissing, and she didn't clean it up. We're getting there.
There's a playful bunch I was expecting.
I never seen Daisy have white behind her back, on her back.
It's kind of blonde. But yeah, it is lighter than usual.
Are you making a video, Mom?
Hey, don't eat my green beans, Adeline.
Mommy, are you making a video?
Yes, I am. Hey, enough of the green beans. Shoo shoo.
Mommy,
Let them have
Shoo-shoo.
some.
No,
Let them have some.
that's for homesteaders. That's not for goats. I was talking about goats. They have pretty destructive personalities, right? They're like puppies. They're running around, They break everything, they eat everything, they shit on everything, and piss on everything. That's what I gather, at least. Cute, fucking, amazing fucking animals, right? But they can't be really controlled unless you lock them up. They can't be controlled. So this food is not for them. This is for homesteader. The slaves are misbehaving. That's what's happening here.
Get off of my beans. That I did not think about. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Go eat trees.
And I think she's nice for the camera. I don't think she would be that nice off the camera.
Go on, no. Go eat trees. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Go eat trees. No, go eat trees. Go. Go. Go eat trees. Orner goats. Those are new, huh, Daisy? What are those?
Oh, they have rabbits.
What are
Meat rabbits, probably, because you can't milk a rabbit, I think. Now look at them, one in a cage. They're all alone.
those? What is that, Bunny? What is that? I think she sells the alfalfa and their food pellets. Just checking them out. Hi, Bunny.
And by the way, the dream of self-sufficiency, it can never happen. They always have to buy food for the animals. Always. They always have to pay more stuff. They're unwilling to pay for vets, though. No. Vets are too expensive. Vets are spread apart as well. Not every area has a livestock vet, right? So people move into the middle of nowhere. They buy a bunch of animals, and they don't make sure that they can take care of them properly, including having a vet close by. So a bunch of animals, they just died just from sheer incompetence of these people. That's what's the most annoying thing, right? Crop deaths, though, right? Oh my God, I buy from a small farm. There's so little. I only kill one cow. Fuck. No. Small farms kill by sheer incompetence, and they're trying to keep the nature out as much as possible. So they kill so many animals. It's unbelievable. I'm sorry.
That whole terminology is so messed up too when we talk about livestock. You know, like if Elwoods had a homestead, would they have to take their dogs to a livestock vet because they're raising them for meat, you know?
Yeah.
Hi, Bunny. How are you? Hello, Bunny. You let me pet you? No,
See?
she's not super tame.
The animals fucking hate her, I think. Seriously.
I was going to say score 1 for your hypothesis right there.
Absolutely. Let me 1 second increase this the size of the chat a little bit, because I think I made it too small. How do I do that? Like that. Sorry.
Vegan Stoner Lady brings up an interesting point about the wire, like on their feet.
Yeah.
There does seem to be a little, that area where the rabbit's standing right now, like a little bit of a refuge area from the wire, but you know, looks like there is a lot of wire too. The other one's just laying on it.
Yeah. Animals are not, this is not natural. Animals raised on homesteads are not raised in a natural way. It's a naturalistic fallacy. We can also debunk that ethos for once and for all, right here. They're in prison.
Over here is tame-ish. Once you get her out of the cage, she loves to be snuggled. But they're hot, so we'll let them rest.
I call bullshit. I bet she makes them get the cuddles. I bet they don't want to. I'm just extrapolating.
I've definitely gone longer between barn cleanouts than this before, but the bedding has never been this bad before. I knew he was
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
peeing a lot more than they were, but good night. This is like so wet underneath and so heavy and packed down. It's hard to get up, and it stinks really bad.
Well, how do you think the animals felt for 2 fucking months, living in their own fucking excrement? How do you think they felt? Did you consider them? It's animal abuse right there. I can't believe I thought it was going to be a bit of a, I don't know, like subtle. It's not subtle, is it? It's fucking
Yeah, I
blatant.
was getting ready to just talk about how ideal the way that they're all being raised is, but that the issue is with the, you know, predetermining the end of their life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing there's issues even with just the, welfare.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't give a shit. People who talk about high welfare, what are they talking about usually? Do you know? You talk to people on the street all the time. Please tell me. People who say, well, high welfare, what do they mean by that?
They'll talk about like bigger cages and grass feed, and if they talk about Wagyu, they'll talk about the cows getting massages, things like that. I mean, obviously, this scenario that this lady was running, I would say would probably be more ideal than any of those kind of like typical high welfare scenarios. Just because of a matter of scale.
Yeah. Even the Wagyu beef thing, right? Do you think those animals are considered when giving them massages? Do you think if one cow is like, no thanks, I don't wanna, I'm gonna walk away. I don't want a massage today, or I don't like massages at all, right? What if a cow has a personality like me that doesn't like massages, right? Do you think they're given a chance to walk away? Do you think, or are they made to have the massages?
That's a good question. That would be a great question to actually ask to the customer service of the Wagyu people.
Yeah, yeah. So even when people are talking, like, okay, let's put Wagyu animals aside, right? When people are talking about high welfare, they're talking about a tiny improvement on what they already think is like really pretty good, right? And they're not thinking about animals that much. Because raising animals in cages, even if they're bigger cages, that's shit welfare, isn't it?
Well, there's a grocery chain in the U.S. called Whole Foods,
Yeah.
and they have this six tier welfareism. So you can choose, like, level 6 is like the highest welfare, and above like the meat counter, they'll have like banners that say something like, where compassion comes to your plate or something like that. And it's like I'm just making this up, but there's like steps. There's steps like the number one step is like they're maybe just cage free. And then the second one is like cage free with outdoor access, and then enhanced outdoor access, and then maybe like bio natural feed or something like that only. And then no antibiotic use maybe, and then pasture raised. And, the tiers kind of go up and up.
Yeah.
So they kind of shed light on this idea of paying for less cruelty.
Yeah. So even in this case, like some of the things I seem, if you think about it long enough, like not using antibiotics, they're not thinking about the animals, right? Because if an animal is suffering, giving them antibiotics is the kind good welfare thing to do, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, if they have an infection, I think, and to be fair, probably the antibiotic free ones would still, the flesh that they sell from antibiotic free hens, for example, would probably still include ones that were given antibiotics, like if they became sick. But I don't think they even go to that extent of being like, that one is sick, let's give her antibiotics. They just, they have millions, maybe, if not tens of thousands, maybe, on some smaller operations. So yeah, I think they can't really go to the point of giving individualized veterinary care to any of them. And they get diseases, all the time, like not just systemic infections, but a lot of times localized infections from like stepping around in excrement. They get foot diseases and things like that all the time too, and it's just borderline impossible to tend to all of them and give them all good care.
Exactly. That was part of my thread on Twitter today. Like, people who have dogs or cats, right? Imagine these animals are your dogs or cats. If you raise these animals for food, you take care of 60, 100, 200 animals, right, on a farm. Before 100, you're not making any money, right? So small, local welfare farm. How can they take care of these animals if they take them away from socializing basically at infancy, right? So the animals can't even learn behavior from adult animals, other the parents or other animals. They 60 animals and maybe 2 or 3 workers, right? Farm hands. How the hell are you gonna take care of all of them, even preventing them hurting themselves, right? Like in the case of pigs, who, when they're stressed, they start eating each other or whatever, like hurting each other. How on earth are you going to prevent that unless you have one person for one animal or for 2 animals or for 3 animals? What the fuck are people thinking happens on small farms? That
Yeah, I
isn't
mean, and
okay.
people do try to prevent that. They cut the tails off of pigs, for example, or they debeak chickens. You know, I'm sure you've seen that thing that they put the bird up to. You know, it's just.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know until I think until I was vegan. I didn't even growing up with chickens. We of course didn't do that because it was just a backyard small coop. But I didn't even know that that's what the chicken looked like in farms. What you describing is basically factory farming. I don't
Right.
think like the backyard chickens getting the beaks cut off. I didn't
Yeah.
even know why the animals looked like that. Didn't ask either, did I?
That they looked, that they had full beaks,
No,
or
that
that.
I had the cut off beaks
Oh,
because I grew up with animals in the natural, supposedly. They still laid like 1 egg every 2 days or so. So they weren't natural for sure. There
right.
was like selective breeding going on there.
But they
But
weren't mutilated.
yeah, they weren't mutilated. Yeah. All right.
Oh, it's definitely needed done. I didn't want to do it while he was here because I didn't want to let him roam the yard. I mean, he
Why
leads
not?
really, really well, but I just didn't want to risk somebody else's goat getting into something on my property and being responsible for it. So,
And that it is. And that's the reason she kept 4 goats inside the barn in their own excrement for 2 months. I mean, the reason was to get the female goats impregnated so that she can continue exploiting them. But she didn't let them out because she didn't want to do the hassle. She didn't want to have the hassle of actually taking care of this animal, right?
so that's why the girls have not been out since before he was here. But yeah, because it's just easier to do this with the gate open, so I don't have to keep opening it and shutting it every time I go in and out with goats.
Oh my god, I keep opening and shutting the gate. It's so fucking hard. It's not worth the animal welfare, right? And yes, what we're talking here about is basic fucking welfare. I almost wish that we had a non-vegan in our chat. It's a shame. Where the hell are my carnivore dieters to tell me that I'm wrong and what we are listening to is bullshit?
Clamoring to get through it. So yeah, but this is gonna be a workout. A stinky workout. Also, I need a new broom for in here. This is all that is left of my straw.
What's that? I just called you. Alpha Caros. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Alpha Caros, why aren't you vegan? Why aren't you vegan is the question.
It's turned into an outreach stream now.
Well, we have Has here. I think it's your strong side, right? Outreach.
I'm not good at text outreach. That's the thing.
Don't want to, says Alpha Caros. Well, do you think that's a good justification for exploitation and killing of sentient animals? the fact that you just don't want to. Go for it, Has, says Martin.
I do like that name, alfal. It reminds me of alfalfa, which
Yeah.
is like really delicious. I love alfalfa sprouts, and Karos kind of sounds cool, like a Greek mythical deity or something like that.
Nah. Refer to my justification I gave vegan gays 3 months ago. I still hold this position. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe you had it. Can you remind us? I don't remember what it was. Vegan gays has quite a few debates in the past. Can you just remind us? Because you're in a different stream. You're talking to different people, right? In the middle of a stream.
Oh, Ian says that they had wild alfalfa in their backyard and it had super sweet smelling flowers.
That's
That sounds
cool.
amazing. VPM, have you ever eaten a flower before, like an edible flower?
I don't think so.
I don't have too much experience in it myself. Sometimes you can find like close to the sprouts and things like that, you can find packaged flowers, like edible flowers. My favorite though has been just orchids, like those purple orchids that you see people have on like their leis and stuff that people have like for luau's and things like that, like the Hawaii style celebration. I'm not sure if you can eat all of them, so don't just go try to eat one, but the edible purple orchids just have like this like satisfying sweet crunch, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, I was lying actually when I was a child. Hold on, I was lying. I wasn't thinking about it. Not I was lying. I didn't think about it. When I was a child, the place where we had the chicken coop, we also had a few trees and shit like that. And we had roses, and I really liked, for some reason, eating the rose pellet. I don't know why.
Wow. I've had rose jam. I guess it makes sense. It had just never occurred to me that you could eat the petal.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
understand. And also, if you've eaten broccoli before, that is a flower as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I thought that my answer was too definitive. Anyways, I think Alpha Karos is not communicating with us anymore, so let's continue.
Room because the goats ate it.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, they won't eat the expensive hay I got them because it's not good enough, but they'll eat my straw broom.
Maybe they were bored.
Yeah, maybe just they have preferences. Yeah. Probably gonna skip around on this part a little bit. Just picking up shit. Yeah. Oh, poor person. Have to work a little bit. I mean, if she could train the goats to do this, she probably would.
I will say I love this music.
Yeah.
The music is super relaxing.
So all of this hay, you can see it. It was bought, right? Because it's arranged mechanically into cubes. So they keep paying for food. So self-sufficiency, my fucking ass.
Well, to be fair, if plants feel pain and they're sentient, the hay could have just arranged itself into a cube. Maybe they're doing like activism. They're trying to make a cube.
Funny.
I think it was actually easier than I expected. Yeah, the excessive urination and packing down and everything did make things a lot heavier. Made a little more.
What are you gonna bet that she's gonna continue doing this in this manner now? Just because it's easier. She's gonna clean it out every 2-3 months.
More tricky to like dig out a piece that wasn't super heavy and super big, but because it was all kind of packed together, it didn't like fall through the tines of the fork, and I was able to scoop more at a time and get more at a time into the yard cart. And because it was packed together so much, I was able to put larger loads in yard cart, which meant fewer loads to dump the yard cart. So I think it actually ended up helping to get the job done faster, even though it was a little bit heavier and harder to scoop up. Now, will I intend?
Bianca, she's definitely not doing it daily. I don't think any homesteader does it daily. They get animal slaves because they don't want to work. They don't want to work. And animal slaves, basically, in their own shit and piss, they can raise themselves, basically. In some cases, like if you have a really big acreage and you get not too many animals, they can feed themselves, basically, as well. Sometimes they get sick and die. But, yeah, that is abuse, yeah.
Intentionally let it get that bad so it'll be easier to scoop next time? No, absolutely. Sorry, my nose is all itchy from spreading straw. Hay, technically. Yeah, this is that junk hay. We bought like a whole loft full of it and they wouldn't eat it, so we use it for bedding. And then, of course, every time I get some down to use for bedding, they decided they wouldn't eat it. But anyways, yeah. But it's all clean now. So that wasn't so bad after all. I'm gonna put a little bit of this extra hay in the chicken coop because they need some more bedding and I'm out of wood chips. So, yeah, and then I've mentioned
Wait until you see the chicken coop.
videos past when Demelza was dealing with mites or whatever was going on there, about addressing some mineral issues. Now that the barn's all cleaned out and Chevy's gone, we're gonna be addressing those real soon.
Goats are also incredibly prone to getting all kinds of animals on them and in them. If people don't mind in the chat, I will spell it out. So basically, if you get goats, you're basically raising intestinal worms for sure, and mites and all kinds of stuff. So she let an animal live with mites, which is probably fucking excruciating for an animal. And she didn't take care of it until now, for 2 months. That's animal abuse, isn't it, Has?
Yeah, I assume by it you mean like the problem, not you're not referring to the goat
Yeah, of course.
themselves. Yeah. It seems like there's some neglect there for sure.
Yeah.
Because laying under the drop board is better than laying in the nest box, apparently.
Is that poop on the shelf? That looks like poop.
Yep,
Like
it's
on the top.
huge layer of shit. Now, again, as someone who raised chickens, I know better than most. Because everything comes out of the same hole, some of it is liquid, some of it is solid. If you don't clean the poop, it sticks to their feet. It sticks to them and creates like these huge clumps on their feet, which are difficult to take off later if you don't clean the coop. Because everything becomes solid and then liquid and then solid again and then liquid again. It just creates layers of shit on their legs, and it's incredibly probably uncomfortable to walk around like that with those huge clumps of shit on their legs. Yeah, chicken coops should be cleaned. We of course.
DPM, I don't know about you, but
yeah.
you know, that lady's nose was itching. Like I feel my nose is itching now too. So I'm like, oh my God.
I'm definitely secondhand allergic, definitely. Did you know that the goat, they kinda, she drinks from like that, but look at her, she drinks kinda like a human. Notice this. Right? Because some animals drink in a different way, but she's like sips and
Like
then
sipping,
swallows.
yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I didn't know that. I think even these animals just fucking hate her. They're just sipping. Isn't that amazing?
I have a volunteer, looks like a little pumpkin. plant
There you
next to
go.
the barn over here. It's a little smashed at the moment. Totally just dropped my.
I mean, there is another way. It's glaring. It's staring at her. There is another way. And she decides to get the animal slaves anyways.
Tools on it. But it'll perk back.
I'm gonna skip this because she's doing non-animal stuff for a little bit.
Sam and Betty decided to come check out the barn tonight during lockup. They weren't too fond of the goats. What you think about here? What do you think of this? You see all those chickens up there? Those
Holy
ducks
crap.
over there? What do you think of that?
Yeah,
You see that? They're like shoulder to shoulder up there.
yeah.
Let's see
Let's see it
goats.
again.
What you think about here? What do you think of this? You see all those chickens up there? Those ducks under there? What do you think of that? You think you want to live in here with them?
So apparently it's incredibly bad idea to put all the animals, chickens, ducks and geese together because they have different diseases that, for instance, ducks can handle fine, whatever diseases they have, but chickens can't. Chickens will die if they get whatever ducks have. So such a silly idea, and it's just basic incompetence again. To put them all in the same coop. And I'm truly wondering what her death rate is. Just from sheer incompetence.
Oh, what would you think about sleeping in here, huh? I know, it's hard to, you're so big, it's hard to get far enough back to take a picture of you. What'd you think? What'd you think, pretty goose? What'd you think, geese? Do you like it in here? What did you think?
I don't know, maybe I'm reading into this. These animals look very stressed to me. And I don't know, they're trying to talk to the other animals, and the other animals are kind of far away. I don't know, the situation is, it makes me wonder what's going on with these animals, you know what I mean? But VPM, they're local race, so everything's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Such good geese. These are the most affectionate geese I ever did see.
She says,
I would have thought that was a duck.
Oh, no, those are geese. But she says, "Oh, those are the most affectionate geese." While he completely trying to run away from her, from her striking, petting him.
BPM, by the way,
You're so
I don't know if you were aware, but when you talked about the kind of incidental deaths that might happen, even in scenarios where the quote unquote farmers are very competent,
Yeah.
apparently there's kind of with the hormone intensive chicken raising populations. I don't know what documentary this was in that I saw this. It might have actually been in the Super Size Me one where Morgan Spurlock goes, the late Morgan Spurlock, I think he died very recently, where he had eaten only McDonald's for a month. They had found, I think it was there, I may be wrong, but anyway, apparently if a certain number of chickens don't die from heart attacks, they're actually given more hormones. Like if they're given a certain amount of growth hormone and the farmer's walking around and they don't have to pick up a lot of dead chickens off the ground who had heart attacks, then they'll take that as their sign that they can increase the amount of hormones that are given, because it's like they're not getting as much as possible out of their investment, basically. You know, they're able to make a cheap increase in the amount of hormones that are given and then, you know, yield a lot more flesh and then just have a few dead ones. So, you know, even in the competent farms where they know what they're doing, you know, the premature death problem is very relevant even in those situations.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's totally fucked up. By the way, homesteaders have a saying: if you're raising livestock, you're raising dead stock. And they keep saying that to new homesteaders just to make them feel better about them killing animals just through sheer incompetence and not taking them to the vet and stuff like that. By the way, this is a bad idea, putting them in a coop like that, for another reason that we haven't talked about yet. Fucking bird flu is happening right now. So packing animals in like that, 3 species of animals.
It's just jumping from species. Yeah, it can do that.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking crazy. Hey, Kerry, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. You're missed. You're dearly, dearly missed.
Sweet. They don't even mind their heads being pet.
The goose is like, don't touch me, you motherfucker. And she keeps petting him.
This one, Sammy, likes to snuggle. Those are eggs over there. You hatched out of one of those. You just gonna lay down, get comfy? Okay. You wanna stay here? Okay.
So,
They
by
still
the
did-
way, those are baby geese. She was raising them in a house, and now she's putting them in a coop. They're still young, incredibly young, like a week or two.
Yeah, I've never
Staying
seen
in the
geese that look
house?
like that. The geese that I've seen are always kind of like they have like black heads and kind of like beige bodies.
Yeah.
Like from their neck up, they're all black.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't
there
know,
are
maybe
different species, I guess.
Yeah,
or
of
not
course.
species.
Subspecies maybe.
Subspecies, yeah.
As you can see, they're not fully feathered yet. Still fuzzy. I'm not really worried about that because it's been so hot lately. But they are still on a high protein growing food.
Even Stoner Lady says that's a Canadian geese.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because they are still growing.
Such cute
And some
animals.
niacin supplements. So that's the thing that's holding me back from moving them out here. They're huge, which is inconvenient for keeping them in the house. But I'm just not sure how the feeding them a set different food than the rest of these guys would work, because these guys would try to steal their food. So I don't know. Maybe we'll figure.
The feet of geese are amazing. They like kind of have knees, kind of like humans. I don't know. I'm just so in awe with these animals all the time. And I can't believe people are raising them to kill them. It
You know, I
breaks-
don't know if you caught this, VPM, but she also said that they have a high protein food.
Yeah,
I wonder where they get their protein.
I don't know. It's a mystery pellets, and why they're getting their protein is also a question we should ask. Is it for their benefit, or is it for their flesh to taste better later on, or for
Do
them
they
to grow faster?
Yeah, do people eat geese? Do humans eat geese? Is that the purpose of this?
I don't know. It could be. I don't know. It depends. She could be raising them for food, or like for meat, or for eggs, maybe.
Or maybe even for feathers?
Never seen a homesteader talking about raising animals for feathers. I don't think so, though.
That's a relief.
It could be like a side quest kind of situation, because they do like to prop up themselves as using head to nose or shit like that. I don't know, whatever they're saying. But it's loud outside. I don't know if you guys can hear.
Not
Anyways,
really.
it's good.
But something I want to say about this is the topic of Canadian geese had come up. So there's this company called Canada Goose. I don't know if you're familiar with it. They make like jackets and things like that.
Yeah.
So they were a target of anti-fur protesters for a long time. And I had actually attended a protest there once where I made kind of like a highlight reel of footage and then took a TV showing like their practices that had emerged from undercover investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the footage showed their use of fur, and other footage showed their use of down from, like, I believe, geese. And what the harvesters of the fur would do would be basically to restrain these birds and then to pull out all their feathers, and and then when the feathers would grow back in, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
It's very sad to me that you don't see people protesting against Canada Goose for their continued use of down. Now that they've pledged to stop using fur after whatever year, maybe they already have. I'm not sure exactly where that is along the way, but they haven't said anything about the pulling out feathers from live birds issue. And,
Yeah.
we have no reason to believe that that wouldn't be extremely painful for them. Just besides the obvious, like,
Yeah.
this is slavery and
Yeah.
whatnot.
That's an
It's still
obvious
messed up.
exploitation. Yeah. So I just said again, I'm walking back. I said a minute ago that I haven't never seen homesteaders specifically raise animals for feathers, but they do
Yeah.
use them. They do use feathers. And another snippet of my childhood. Most of my childhood, I slept on what is it called? Pillows that are made out of chicken feathers. And I couldn't figure out why I was sick all the time. But I'm
Like
allergic to
allergies?
most animals. I'm allergic to most animals except for dogs, I think. So there was nobody was talking about allergies. Nobody knew about them. So my mom kept like putting me into animal stuff and giving me pillows with animals on them. And I was just sick all the fucking time. And we didn't know why. Nobody cared. I was raised
Yeah.
like kind of like an animal myself. I
The
think a
the
little
whole
bit.
bird feather thing is crazy. Like when you look at amino acid supplements,
Yeah.
specifically, there's one called arginine, which people who are into fitness sometimes take it for increased nitric oxide production. It's the compound that makes your blood vessels dilate, to kind of give you more of like a pump, basically, like lowers your blood pressure, widens your vasculature. And that's generally, unless it's like pharmaceutically synthesized, it's from feathers, bird feathers.
It's just everywhere, isn't it? Hey, what's up, vegan gays? It's fucking everywhere. The animal exploitation, it has no bounds, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue with this cute animals who don't try
Something
to
else.
get away
You
from
like it in
her.
here? Do you like it in here? Yeah? We'll see how you like it. I'll talk quietly because I don't want to disturb her, but we do have another mama dog. This is the same one of the ones that housed up babies last year. That is going broody, as you can see.
So I haven't figured out why she's actually, I guess, keeping a male duck on premises. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's again for meat. So she's keeping basically letting ducks sit on eggs. We'll see ducklings in a minute. That's why I'm asking. But she doesn't say anything. We just left guessing based on our knowledge.
Last year they had a problem with the chickens kicking them out of the nest so that they could use it to lay eggs. And then they would end up moving their nest all over the place. And a lot of eggs got broken that way. So I have put her nest into this dog kennel, hoping she'll be able to fend off the chickens a little bit better if there's only one entrance.
If you would have taken care of your fucking animals, you wouldn't need to fend off anybody.
We'll see how it goes. We have some plans for maybe changing that, making it even more secure. But for now, hopefully this will work. I'm actually really glad that she decided to go broody just now after.
Even in there, this animal looks fucking stressed with this woman beside her, right? Like, I don't know much about the ducks, but she's opening her mouth. Opening and closing her mouth. I don't know.
Yeah, when birds get broody, like when they're laying eggs, they tend to be very defensive over the nest.
Yeah.
And they'll hiss and things like that. Even with somebody who they deeply love. So story time, I used to live with a cockatiel, actually. I had bought her from a pet store before I was vegan. So obviously, I brought her into my life through unethical means. She actually passed away about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And but she was about 15 when she passed away. So I've been vegan for about 12 years now.
Wow.
But anyway, she would lay eggs. She would have a menstrual cycle, or a henstrel cycle, I guess you could say. And when she would lay eggs, she would go into a corner, like she would kind of pick out like a drawer, like a cupboard, and then I would have to empty stuff out of it and kind of make it like a little spot for her. And she would become very broody when she would lay eggs, and she would kind of rock back and forth and do that, like, kind of like hissing and um, kind of like fending off kind of behavior. So that might be what we're seeing here, where they kind of look a little bit like irritable.
Yeah. Yeah, I also used to live with two cockatiels, but both of them were male, so I was just trying to fuck everything, and they weren't trying to lay eggs. So
Eggs.
they weren't in my care. I had a roommate with two cockatiels, so yeah. So now they live somewhere else.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations where obviously, after going vegan, I realized that what I had done was wrong in terms of buying her from the animal slave trade.
Yeah.
And I kept her out as much as I possibly could. Like, I didn't lock her up in a cage. Even at night, she would just go back in by herself. But then one morning, I opened the door of between the living room and the bedroom, and it got very. She got startled because it made a loud sound.
Yeah.
And it became a very dangerous situation where she flew out and like banged into walls and stuff and was bloody and stuff. So after that point, I did start locking her cage at night, because to avoid that. But it's difficult living with other animals. I mean, even an animal as small as a cockatiel, it changes. Having to raise one in an apartment setting, like I would keep my place at like 85 degrees when she was older, because heat is better for birds, especially as they become weaker and older. They don't have as much energy. Just like all sorts of modifications have to be made to our lives, even to healthily raise and keep a cockatiel healthy. So I can only imagine when you're dealing with dozens of animals, all different breeds. There's got to be dozens of different species. There's got to be some shortcomings, I guess, for lack of a better word, in terms of how they're all able to live. And we have to be able to justify that. And if it's just for profit, then there is no justification as I see it.
Yeah. So one of the cockatiels that I used to live with, he was actually from the other end of that slave trade. He used to be a breeder. He used to be a male cockatiel held for breeding, and he never got over it. Cockatiels are incredibly emotional animals, and he never trusted humans ever again. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't even come much close to him. He got better for the, I think, 7 years that I knew him. He got better at some point, but not to the point of actually trusting people and shit like that. Yeah. I gotta close the door 1 second because the racket, you can't hear it, guys, but I can't hear myself. 1 sec.
So what do you guys think so far about this farm? It seems like there's some overlooked stuff in terms of what the animals could benefit from.
Pigs, Dream, Sex, Panic. Thank you for panicking. I appreciate it. I really like it when you panic. I think the most glaring abuse here is the existence of these animals in the first place, when there is definitely another way. She showed us another way. She showed us the pumpkin she's growing. Why does she have to? Why is the question that I keep asking myself when I read homesteaders and their problems and the deworming and the ticking and oh my God, there are too many mosquitoes, there are too many moles, there are too many all kinds of shit. Why go that route? Just raise...
and they're fighting for territory.
Yeah.
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 Are we
Nerds Like Us says, looks like this lady is hoarding animals. Yeah.
doing this again, ducks? Where you guys are like sharing the nest? We did this last year, remember? You silly ducks. I don't think that second duck is the same.
So it doesn't matter why the animal's stressed. The animal's obviously stressed, so fucking leave them alone. I don't know. That's my preference when I deal with animals who are stressed. I have a neighbor dog who's a tiny little creature, and he gets incredibly stressed. And when I tried to pet him a couple of times, he clearly showed that he's not interested. So I just leave him alone. Just do that. Just leave animals alone.
Same one as last year. I'm pretty sure the other mama duck is the one that got killed the other week when she was trying to nest outside. I think this is one of the daughters from last year. You guys are so funny. Well, I guess with the two of them.
She doesn't even know where the animals come from, right? Who's the parent of these animals? And she couldn't
How did
take
they
care
get killed?
probably predators. She was trying to brood outside, so probably predators. So they can't even fucking take care of them. And this entire cycle could have been avoided, is my thing, if these people weren't so, I don't know, selfish, I think.
These chickens probably won't be able to get into that kennel and steal the nest, hopefully. At the very least, they won't be
The
moving
chicken's giving a side eye.
the
Like
nest
that's what
around
you think.
if it's in there. Hopefully.
So that ducklings, for some
Miss
reason.
Eleanor here brought her babies into the run.
And when I say for some reason, those people control the reproductive systems of these animals, right? Everything is under control. So those ducks were made to be there. They were worked for to be there. The situation was created for them to be there. So the question is, what for?
I'm thinking she was gonna bring them into the coop tonight, which they're really tiny. I would have thought she'd wait till they're a little bigger, but she's a super good mama, so I'm gonna trust her judgment on this one. But also,
Even the way they call them mama is fucking disgusting. I don't know why, it irks me. What do you think about that? You like language as well, Haz?
I do like that kind of language when they refer to them as, maternal or paternal figures, because I think it does have the potential to show someone that they're part of a family. But you never know. I saw a video from Danny, the Lifting Vegan Logic, where he does a lot of response videos, like short response videos, kind of like parodying non-vegans videos. And there was one where someone had posted something to the effect of, well, people say that this chicken had a family, so I got a 8-piece bucket or something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I don't know, it can maybe not be effective also to talk about them having families, but I do think that that gendered language does have a purpose when talking about
Yeah. I don't have a problem with calling animals he, she, they. That's fine. The gendered part is fine. It's the way they say mama. I don't know what's about it. It's something like a feeling, a gross feeling. It's again, I think it's connected to the fact that homesteaders are exploiting their reproductive systems. Basically, they're exploiting this familiarity. They're exploiting it.
So it's almost like when they say mama, it's like they're seeing dollar signs. They're seeing a cash cow kind of thing.
Yes, it also feels so disingenuous because they recognize that, as you said, they recognize that these animals are families. They have I don't know. They care for their young and stuff like that, and then they exploit and kill them anyways. There's like a bifurcation there. I think most of the general population kind of don't even recognize that those animals are animals even, right? That they have animalistic traits. They don't recognize, they don't know, for instance, that about a third to a half of the beef industry is basically mothers, right? To birth calves to be raised as beef. When I figured it out, and I was lately, like a year ago, I was like, holy fuck, like half the industry is basically mothers.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, and it doesn't blow their mind, and I don't understand why. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like when you hear about people being vegetarian, they're basically supplying the victims
Yeah,
to the beef industry.
yeah.
So, we had a lot of bad coon issues lately around here. Thankfully, we haven't lost anything yet, but my neighbors behind us lost almost their entire flock when they were on vacation the other week. And then my other neighbors over here had a coon break into their coop and kill about half.
Coon is raccoon, by the way, and that's what I was talking about. The sheer incompetence of taking care of these animals. When they say, well, I moved to nature, now they're trying to prevent nature from taking what's theirs, right? It's the circle of life only if I can exploit it. Somehow, if raccoons want to eat, not that I'm for it, right? I don't think it's a good. I don't know. It's to me, it's immoral to let a raccoon eat an animal alive, right? If you can prevent it somehow, and that's their job, right? If they decided to do this thing and raise animals for their consumption, at the least they can do the best they can to keep these animals not being killed, eaten alive and shit like that, not being. I don't know. It's just I'm talking from both sides of my mouth here because this shouldn't exist at all. But if it exists, I don't know. No, it's just bad. All of it is bad.
Yeah, it's hard to really critique this without seeming like a better way is what we're endorsing. I say better way in air quotes.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's where I caught myself. But no, that's not
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. But I can't articulate what I'm trying to say, except to say, like, even the job that they took, the selfish people took on themselves, they can't do. And what I'm especially is trying to insinuate is that crop deaths happen more on small farms, I think, right? If we just put the sheer incompetence deaths into consideration, more deaths happen on small farms. But obviously, all of that is wrong. Everything should be replaced. All of this is absolutely fucking horrendous. But in the blasé way that she talks about, entire flocks being killed, it's also fucked up. And whatever sympathy she's mastering, I bet it's for the people who own these animals.
Yeah, the crop deaths thing is really curious because in one sense, it seems like maybe the monocropping would kill the most because it's being, the corn and the soy, et cetera, are being harvested with these huge harvesters. But in another sense, it seems like maybe there's such a lack of plant biodiversity that there wouldn't be any one particular nook or cranny or something within that whole field that would attract a bunch of animals to just go and kind of like settle in there the way they might like to in a forest or something. And then I guess there's also the idea of the animals who die not as a result of being like chopped up by a combine harvester, but as a result of having their shelter in the monocrop field like taken away, so they're kind of like out and vulnerable to owls and such creatures. It's a multifaceted issue.
There is one more thing. There's a glaring difference. Now, I actually think crop deaths are rights violations, and we should, I think, start working now on preventing them. Basically, I think we should put more emphasis as a vegan community on that. But there is one huge glaring difference between animals raised for food and crop deaths, the monocrop deaths or whatever. The animals on crops, right, that die for crops, they run toward the danger because they want food. They get into the danger. The animals raised food, slaughtered in the end. They're running away, right? So that's a huge difference for me, but I think both are immoral and we should stop doing it. I just think that the crop industry is redeemable, whereas the animal industry isn't, barring the few lab meat in some cases, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know if we can make meaningful reform in the existing system when it comes to crop deaths, but I think optics wise, it would actually be a great thing to even just to try, because if vegans are known for pushing for remedial action to be taken to mitigate the situation and improve it, I think that that would just be one thing that we could kind of like we could talk to non-vegans about in a way where we were like, yeah, we're actually working on that. But of course, there's a bigger steel man about this whole crop death situation, and that's that raising animals for food requires more crops in the first place. So
definitely the pellets that they're buying are definitely crops, basically. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I wanted to make another point, but don't remember it. And let's continue.
Their flock, and they've put out live traps, and they have caught coons every single night since they put the live traps up.
Caught them?
And
Why are you fighting nature, motherfucker? Nature is knocking at your door. Why are you fighting nature? You live in the middle of nature. You move to the middle of nature, right? Again, I'm not advocating for, I'm not advocating for nature taking place. I'm just saying I'm trying to ask her, as the person who moved in the middle of nature and then spent every fucking second trying to fight nature in every possible way. So
I wonder what they're doing with those raccoons that they catch.
I probably just kill them. You think they eat them? I don't think so.
Well, I was thinking more like, I wonder if they relocate them to a nearby forest.
They
or
definitely
something.
kill them. Definitely. Homesteaders don't have regard for sentient life, except their own and maybe their dog. They don't. They just don't want their animals to die before they have the chance to exploit and kill them.
It's very grim.
Yeah. By the way, everybody like the stream, please subscribe if you haven't already. Go to Haz's channel and subscribe there. Hit something there. We had an interesting conversation a couple of weeks ago, so like a week ago. So that could be interesting for you to watch if you haven't seen it already. And, if you're on Instagram, go subscribe to Homesteader. If you have a strong stomach, I guess. Because some of the posts are hard.
I appreciate that shout out. And yeah, I want to check out that Instagram account too.
Yeah.
Do you post just still images there, or do you post like video response kind of things too?
No, I did reels for a while, but it's like too much work. I usually post carousels of their posts. Some of them have pictures in them, some of them don't. Yeah.
Have you had luck with Instagram Reels? I don't know what it is about it, but for some reason, like, the Reels I'll post, or the shorts or whatever, short form videos on YouTube tend to do okay, relatively speaking. And previously, ones I had posted on TikTok also did pretty well.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the ones I post on Instagram, literally the only people who see them are people actually following my page, which I don't know if Instagram just doesn't publicize certain things, but it's literally like no different than like posting something for your Facebook friends or something.
Yeah. Instagram, like Facebook, is a silo. It's a vegan silo because you follow vegans there, vegans follow you, and Instagram doesn't advertise outside of whatever. The bigger accounts, like if you want something to be really, really spread, talk to people like me, talk to other vegans as well. If you ask like a bunch of vegans to collaborate, it has actually the potential to get a few people to see, because the views are just kind of exploding a little bit more. But for the most part, unless you have a huge account and unless you collaborate a lot, nobody's going to see it other than vegans. I don't know how to break that as well, because I would desperately want for non-vegans to see my page, but
Yeah. It's usually those things that kind of have like an explosive start to them kind of thing, or like, I mean, in the actual content, or if the title's kind of clickbaity.
yeah.
For example, a couple days ago, I posted a video where someone had been saying to me, well, by being vegan, you're actually involved in a form of oppression because you're pushing your ideas and opinions on others. And so
Classic.
I made the title like vegan gets, and then in all caps, called out for forcing his opinions or something like that. And then, all of a sudden, there's how you know that your video is reaching non-vegans. You start getting those troll comments like, oh, I just ate a steak or something like that.
Yeah, and the
That's like,
downvotes. You can see the
yeah,
downvotes. Yeah.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
It's
YouTube
like,
is
it's a
very good for
weird,
that. Instagram is shit for that. So
yeah.
basically, only if you have a really good, concise point, well edited, just talk to a bunch of vegans and tell them, ask them to collaborate in advance, and then it might have a chance. But other than that, it's all a silo, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we have this weird conundrum, as you were referring to, where our success is basically defined by the degree of negative engagement, which
Yeah.
kind of puts us in a strange situation.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's one of the reasons that I opened my Discord, because I just realized on everywhere I am, I'm only talking either to vegans or to anti-vegans that seek vegans out, right? To burn them out, to say crop deaths 10,000 times a day, all of that shit. And I was just on Twitter. That's all I'm fucking doing. I'm talking to anti-vegans and vegans, and that's it. No real people are disturbed by whatever the fuck I'm doing. So I opened the Discord server to hopefully do something else. I don't know. It's not really. It has two big projects. One of them is already out, but yeah, it needs more people. So guys, if you want to do digital activism, hook me up.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point about that polarity, if you will, of people who we typically engage with. I think as far as vegans go, it's extremely valuable for us to be able to have other vegans who we can talk to, to keep our sanity and to realize that there are people who care about this just as much as we do, and that we're not somehow unusual or weird for being non-adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, I think interacting with anti-vegans especially is just a waste of time for the most part. The only scenario where I can see that actually having a payoff for the animals is in a situation where you show that to somebody who's not anti-vegan, or neither anti-vegan nor vegan, and they see that and think I don't want to be that insensitive person. I don't want to be callous toward other animals. But yeah, we really need to be reaching the people who don't have social media presences that are devoted to making like ex-vegan compilation reels and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So there is value. Yeah, I think you are correct for the most part. I think there is one instance in which I'm looking for it, where you have like a huge post with many reaches, right? And if you have anti-vegans there, it could be beneficial to own them, I guess, for other anti-vegans to read that shit and kind of like, oh yeah, my arguments that I heard terrible, that easily dismissed. All right.
Yeah, somewhere that I found really good for that kind of for outreach that would reach non-anti-vegan non-vegans was actually through Reddit.
Yeah.
And I got banned from Reddit like a few years ago, like admin banned, like site wide.
Wow.
And what I was doing was I was going to things like the Ask Reddit subreddit and posting thought-provoking questions. As far as I remember, you're not allowed to post yes or no questions, and you're not allowed to post kind of like very leading questions.
Yeah.
But it's a very good platform for being able to ask thought-provoking questions,
Yeah.
um, and then kind of getting people fired up about it. Like I would post a very simple question, and then people would be posting like multi-paragraph long answers. You know what I mean? And it's like, if nothing else, I guess you're wasting Carnus time. You know what I mean? And forcing them to think about something and write you a whole
Yeah.
5-paragraph essay.
Yeah, but if you don't write an essay back, what was it for?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. But the thing is that then, if it gets enough traction, there will be vegans who see it and can meaningfully respond to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can boil down even a long response to just the basic errors in, premise and conclusion.
Yeah. I think we're boring the chat a little bit. So this is
All
a
right.
very interesting conversation. Let's talk about it more. But let's continue with this lady for now. Is that okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I've noticed evidence in our yard of coons being present. So that little coop, unfortunately, isn't super secure where she has her babies. So it probably would be safer if she brought them into the barn. We have been putting a cinder block in front of the pop door just as like an added layer of protection there.
See, everything could have been avoided. Now they're locking animals in for the night, right, into this coop. Everything could have been avoided if you didn't buy these animals in the first place. If you just ate vegan food, just eat the fucking vegan food. I don't know.
And there's a ton of plants growing around there. I mean, you saw in that field, like, I don't know if they were growing all that intentionally, but there's so much vegetation. Look behind her, and they could grow so much there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're in the U.S. I don't know exactly what state they're in, but
Yeah.
it looks like wherever they are.
Yeah, US, Canada kind of situation, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe because of Canada geese. Maybe she's in Canada. Yeah.
I think the Canada geese are actually the ones with the black necks.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure though. I'm not entirely sure.
You want me to search it?
That's all right.
Yeah. All right.
Figure out how to undo the latch. I don't think they'd be able to move a cinder block, I hope. So yeah, she's just gonna hang out on the run right now. I may encourage her to take them inside though, cause that way I'll be able to secure it a little better. Hey mama, why don't you take them in? Let's go inside. Go to bed. Take your babies to bed. Go on. Take your babies to bed.
The chicks are so cute.
Go on. You wanna go this way?
It's also weird that there are only two. You know, because usually they sit on, I don't know, I think the way I remember it, it's usually like 4 or 5 eggs.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So I think maybe some of them died when they, yeah.
Maybe the raccoons got them. Who knows?
Yeah, fuck.
Okay. Take your babies to bed. They're trying to catch up in the tall grass. It's crazy how much grass has grown up in here. You gonna catch up to mommy? There's one in this grass over here. This is like a ton of grass for a chicken run. Usually they are pretty dry. Let's see how they do with this ramp. They've got the ramp in the other coop down. They're actually really good at it. Oh, there's the other one. Let's see how they do with this one.
So this is gonna be a long one.
I'm not gonna go over there and help.
I might
because...
skip a little bit. She just waits there for a really long time for them to walk on the thing, right, on this structure and jump up somehow.
Oh man,
Fuck.
That's like higher than.
Yeah, they're able to do it, right? But it's definitely more than should be expected of baby animals. I don't know. So I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit, right? Because it's gonna be a while.
Good job. Your turn. They're so adorable.
I do agree with her on that.
Yeah, but she uses it for revenue on both sides. She uses the cuteness of the animals for revenue, and then she uses their bodies for revenue or for food or whatever. It's the same as revenue, I think. In this case, that's what she's having them for. I don't know. Vegan Stone Lazy says, I presume Shogun and Jinkies are thinner. All right.
Go on, go see mommy. Whoops. You fell down. Can you get back up? Go on. Go see mommy. No, not underneath. Yeah, this is usually what happens. They end up going underneath because they hear her voice over in that direction and they get confused. Come on, baby. She's such a good mom.
She's such a good mom, she said. Recognizing that and still exploiting them. It's fucking incredible.
The best mama we've had. She's so good. You gonna go in?
So how is the best mama measured? If you don't have to do much to raise your slaves, right?
That chicken's gonna try to come out. There you go. Is that one gonna come back out now? We were so close. Now they're both out again.
So I don't know if you can see this. This thing is definitely not very secure. It's basically a couple of like three what's it called, hammered in nails into like another piece of wood. So this thing it's basically moving every time. Even the tiny ones are jumping on it. So it's even they're just so fucking. They have zero regard for these animals and for sentient life altogether. Just to build them a ramp that is able to hold them is not going to spill over.
Guys,
It needs to go up
the
just
kind
a
of
little
drama
higher.
that we.
Sorry?
It needs to go up just a little higher. You know, if
Yeah.
it just went up 3 more inches, they'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, they're able to jump up, I guess. I don't know. He was able to jump up and down. So.
Watch over here. Go on. It's underneath the ramp. You see it?
It's gonna become
Go
apparent
on.
why I'm letting it play.
Take just a step closer. She'll get a little urgency here. There we go. Oops, almost. There we go. Other little baby. And he just went back under the barn.
Yeah, Freedom would be fine. Yeah, true.
I think that more yellow one is the younger of the two. You gonna call him in? Call her over here so she can come back in. Hurry up. I got milk waiting that needs to be strained.
Now, what the fuck is milk strained for? What the fuck does she mean by that? Do you know?
It beats me. I have no clue.
Anybody in the chat? Do you know why would she need? First of all, fucking animal abuse, and she should create a soy milk, right? Or an oat milk, also incredibly easy to raise.
Maybe that's
to
what she's
grow.
talking about. Like she blended up some oats and she needs to strain it.
I don't think so. She has goats. So what the fuck could be in milk that she needs to strain it? I bet she's one of them raw milk drinkers as well.
Carrie says hair and dirt.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm okay. Don't worry. I'm okay.
You turned a little green there for a second.
Still am, despite being red, actually.
Yeah. Maybe I was gonna guess pus, maybe.
Hair and dirt, Bianca says, yeah.
And geese to get in. And goats to lock up. You gonna get them in there? Where's your other baby? They don't listen very well, do they? home, Eleanor.
doesn't stray out, stray
They're
out.
falling
That's
asleep
true.
on the ramp.
That's true.
It's bedtime. Go on. There you go. Good job.
Okay, we're done. What do you think, Haz?
I'm feeling I'm feeling like I just witnessed something that I shouldn't have witnessed because I think it shouldn't have existed. You know, I think you made a really good point when you said just farm plants and eat plants. You know, it seems like the obvious answer.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I mean, I just don't understand. It's glaring. It's glaring that there is another way. And yet she insists. She insists on doing this. Why? Why are people like this? It's so hard to raise animals. They're
Yeah,
so
and it's not so hard not to abuse animals.
yeah. Yeah. They're so cute. They're so intelligent. They have such amazing personalities. I don't understand why.
I think, you know, maybe some people have this fascination with other animals in general. You know, they do find them cute. They want them close to them. And like you said, you know, there's maybe this kind of twisted love where they feel like they can kind of bring them almost like become part of their family in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they fucking kill them like you would to a family. Anyways, this has been a long, long day. About 30 minutes of it was pure panic for the chat and us having a very nice conversation to ourselves. So I appreciate you holding on through all of it. I appreciate you coming here to talk to me about this endeavor.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and you know, kind of it helped prime me. I think maybe today or tomorrow I'll try to do some live outreach and record it and stuff like that. So, you know, like on the street. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be if people say, well, have you heard of homesteading? Because I have an uncle who homesteads. I can be like, well, I did just learn that what that is, and I just saw it and talked about it for an hour and a half. So
Yep, yep, and it does get worse, much, much, much worse. This person doesn't show everything, does she? She's hiding a lot. She's not talking about a lot. She's not saying what Chevy's job is. She should spell it out so it's very well understood. Well, Alphacaros, you don't understand why she would bother to do that if she can simply buy meat. Well, meat comes also from animals, so you know that, of course. So it would be same amount of immoral to go to a store and buy meat. She at least looks her victims in the eyes, kinda, without noticing a bunch of stuff about them, like their personality, their wants, their needs. But I think she's doing it, from what I can gather from all homesteaders, is to live in this kind of nature off-grid self-sustainability fantasy, because all of it is fantasy. None of them are self-sufficient. And most of them will say also the meat tastes better, I guess, if you slaughter the animal yourself.
and I guess we don't know if they do slaughter them themselves there. That part wasn't discussed at all.
No.
Which I would have been interested. Like you said, you know, I don't know what exactly we're not seeing, you know, what part of the process we're not seeing, but we're certainly not seeing any slaughter.
No.
And she wasn't clear about whether or not they are slaughtered. I mean, I'm just basing my, you know, what I'm saying off that assumption.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, it probably does get a lot worse, probably definitely gets a lot worse than what we saw. And, you know, if these homesteaders watch this video, I don't want them to think that we're just hating on them, or that we think that they're terrible people, but that maybe they're misguided in their pursuit of sustainability and profitability. And, we wish that they would come around to see things from a perspective where they can be profitable and more ethical in terms of, not enslaving and using our sentient fellow beings.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't say it. Alpha Caros, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely not more economical. It's incredibly unsustainable. It's incredibly wasteful, and it's mostly wasteful of sentient life. So all the welfare talk, all the I don't know benefits of raising your own animals, all of that is absolute crap because there is another way. There is a way to not do this at all. If you can not do this at all, do you find any difference between killing an animal and not killing an animal? Is my question to you, Alpha Karas. Do you see a difference between those two worlds? World A, you kill an animal. World B, you don't kill an animal. Are they morally equal, or is there a moral difference between them?
I'm still cracking up about this comment from a friendo. They said, "Have you seen the video where the goat shits into the milk pail?" I don't know why. That's just so funny to me.
No, a friend, I want you to send it to me, please. So I would really appreciate it. Morally equal, Alpha Caris says. Well, then you ignoring glaring differences between those two worlds. You are, like, I hope you at least know that, right? Like, would the two worlds in which one world A, you kill a person, world B, you don't kill a person, would those be morally equal? A friend who says there is a scene in Cowspiracy where the dude goes to a homestead to witness duck slaughter, and kids are watching. There is no moral difference between world A and world B, where in world B you kill a person and world A you don't kill a person. Yeah, I'm remembering now. You just don't give a crap about anything. You just yeah. I'm remembering your conversation with vegan gays now, for sure. So yeah, you are the kind of person that a moral conversation is wasted on. Then, obviously. I didn't ask you how you prefer to be born. I asked you, world A, you Alpha Colors, have to kill a human. World A, you have to kill a human. World B, you don't have to kill a human. Which one is morally better, or are they morally equal? Is there a moral difference between those two worlds? I don't give a shit how you would prefer to be born.
I think Bianca asked them that question. Is what they were responding to.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I apologize. I do have selective reading comprehension. I don't read on or upwards. It does happen. Okay, let's. I don't think we should stick around for this conversation anymore because, yeah. All right, Haz, thank you very much for coming. Everybody in the
Thank
chat.
you very much for having me on.
Yeah.
This was a good. I've never done a collaborative reaction video before, so this was interesting.
Yeah.
So like a little bit of a watch party type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to I say always like we've had a million live streams together, but it was fun last time, and this was great too. So
yeah, you're always welcome. I think I'm gonna do this once a week. So if you want to join in next time, just talk to me. If you don't, that's also fine. You know what I mean. If you are bored on a thinking you're gonna be bored on a Saturday, call me up and join in. All right.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming, especially Carrie. Missed you. See you next time. Bye.